Yo, what's going on, everybody? Before we hop into the Bleacher Report show from today, remember, there's no better beer on planet Earth than Garage Beer. 0% IPA, 100% light beer, 1,000% quality. DrinkGarageBeer.com. It's the best beer to ever touch my damn lips. All right, with that being said, enjoy the show. What is going on, everybody? Welcome on in to Bleacher Report here on this Wednesday evening. So I did a lot of reflecting last night. On Tuesday, we heard from Nick Sirianni and Howie Roseman at the Combine. And I took a lot of what Howie Roseman said for face value. Is that silly of me, though? Howie Roseman is a genius. And when he is pushing this narrative that we need to be patient, he needs time to go to work, he has to move in a way where Howie Roseman deserves an opportunity to breathe. But trust him, because by the end of this puppy, he'll have a roster that can seriously compete at the top of the NFC once again. And while I do recognize that, and I don't think it's foolish from a very broad view, what are the odds that someone as sharp as Howie Roseman is going to show his hand? If we are playing poker with Howie Roseman, do you think Howie is going to say, yeah, hey, I got two queens, and tell the rest of the GMs what's going on in front of his face? Of course not. So I almost wonder, when he brings up conventional wisdom and how some of his decisions may go against a standard way of operating, is he trying to confuse everybody? Is he bluffing? Is he playing the game? Is he trying to throw a little something out there to see if some bite or to see if anybody buys it, and then he goes a certain way when everybody thinks he's zigging, he's zagging, that type of ordeal? I can't put it past the man, the myth, the legend, Howie. And you know what? Even if he wasn't messing around, the fact that my conspiracy theory is maybe there's something to what he's saying and he is going to go outside the box, he's going to tell you one thing and do another, even if he does exactly what he said he was going to do, the fact that I'm now wondering, I'm now pondering, I'm now at least throwing conspiracy theories out there, maybe that's all he's looking for. It's not just me doing this. There's a billion other GMs who are trying to study exactly what Howie Roseman does. He is the spitting image of what every general manager is trying to be. He's the gold standard. There are national hosts who go out there and say he's not just the best GM in all of football. He may be the best GM in all of sports. And Howie's perfectly aware of that being some of the talking points. So when he's up in front of a podium and there's a lot of media and there's a lot of eyeballs and there's a lot of ears on him, he's going to be very methodical with his approach. So preaching patience, I almost wonder if he's already starting to boil something up. If he's already starting to plan and attack Myles Garrett. He's already wondering what packages he could put together to call Cleveland with patience. Patience, my ass. I'm in full head down mode, and let's go to war this offseason. Let's go attack this offseason. It wouldn't surprise me. But it also wouldn't surprise me if he's just planting this seed to throw a bunch of noise out there too. So then we wonder, does he mean that? Does he not mean that? All right, well, at the end of the day, he meant it. I guess when this offseason's done and he does need patience, hey, I guess he did show his hand. But the fact that we have to wonder if he did or didn't show his hand is enough for him to still be able to cash in the way that he would like. Because you're wasting time trying to study Howie. You're wasting time trying to wonder if Howie means what he says or not. I'm just saying, call me crazy. But I'm aware of how this league works. You always want to react and have knee-jerk reactions if you're an opponent, studying who did it best. You're trying to duplicate the other team's success. You're trying to chase after what the Super Bowl winners are doing. So then you start to hesitate. You start to do things rather quickly. Oh, I saw what Howie did last year. I'm going to try this. Hey, I saw what Howie did in the draft. I'm going to try this. Yeah, truth is, you can't do it like Howie. But Howie knows he's in the crosshairs of all the other GMs. So there has to be a method to the madness. And that's what I did reflecting late last night while staring up at my ceiling, 3 a.m., realizing, wow, Super Bowl 59 champions. Wow. I love where this franchise is at. Even if the NFLPA report card wasn't necessarily clean. Now, if you caught some of this stuff, it's not the end-all, be-all. And the Eagles finished 22nd with the NFLPA player poll from the team report card released on the Eagles. Now, Jeff McClain puts out there that there is a very important note here that the NFLPA player poll for the Eagles was conducted during training camp before management addressed specific player concerns and before the Eagles would have one of the best seasons in franchise history. So just to get a timeline on when some of these rankings and these ratings came out. Treatment of families got a C- grade, which was ranked 27th in the league. Nutritionists, 28th in the league. Locker room, D+, 25th in the league. Team travel, F, 30th in the league. Now, obviously, not all of this truly matters. For example, it says ownership here was ranked 16th. Jeffrey Lurie? I mean, come on. Jeffrey Lurie's a GOAT. Jeffrey Lurie's magnificent. 16th, my ass, right? So not all of it truly matters to a crazy level. The weight room gets a B in grade, which is 21st. I think the strength coach gets 28th in the I don't know what this fully means, but it's pretty crazy to see some of these numbers considering that, once again, everybody is chasing to be what the Eagles are. Now, the funniest one of them all, though, is the team travel that got an F. Here's a little nugget. The players feel they should get first-class seats on team flights instead of the coaching staff. Look, maybe they're right, maybe they're wrong. Hey, what are you going to do? Right. Reality is, imagine telling Nick Sirianni, yo, dude, right? Let's think of, I don't know, I mean, of course, the Jalen Hurtses of the world, the A.J. Browns of the world, okay, they're going to want to have the best seat possible. But could you imagine a world where Jahan Dotson sitting there in the back going, yo, Vic Fangio, get the hell out of my seat. Yo, Vic, I know you're old. You're getting first class over me? What are we doing here? Oh, man. Whatever. I just think it's funny. That's all. Hey, maybe it's a little bit of this. And it's not. But Jeffrey Lurie thinks to himself, I can't give them everything. This is in Alabama, me trying to recruit an 18, 19-year-old kid with an NIL deal for $50 million just to go on my campus to see if he likes it. Now, this isn't Tennessee or Texas where they have a highlight reel in everybody's locker, your own individualized highlight reel from the season on a flat screen TV that is built into where you get dressed every day. It ain't not like that. Listen, come to work, show up, compete. You got it nice enough. I promise you that. You want to win a Super Bowl? You put on that Eagles chest or Eagles logo on your chest. You put the crest on. That's what I meant to say. Listen, we're professionals here. Come in, do your work. You'll be all right. Hey, I promise you the cafeteria is nice. I promise you that the plane we take, it's nice enough. It's nice enough. Let's go win a Super Bowl. Keep you humbled. Humbled, as if what they get on a day-to-day basis in the NFL isn't glorious enough. But to the NFL standards, maybe it's a keep you humble type ordeal. You know what I'm saying? All right, so there's that. None of that really, truly, deeply matters, but I just thought it was interesting. All right, back on the Myles Garrett thing for a little here, because I get it. The last few days, it has very similar talking points, but I think it's very interesting with the two ways of thinking with this fan base when it comes to Myles Garrett. You have the crowd that says you go out and you get him. You go get somebody who is that powerful and you line him up with Jalen Carter, and there is nobody who's going to be able to stop them two together. You have to pick your poison. And guess what? It's the same exact thing that we just saw offensively out of this group, right? Pick your poison. You have to stop the sellout Saquon. Okay, Jalen's going to murder you. You want to just lay back a little bit and make sure Jalen doesn't beat you with his arm? Okay, Saquon is going to have 9 yards per carry. He's going to eat you alive. Pick your poison. There's nothing you can do that can put your team in a good position to win this football game. I guarantee you that. Same would apply to Jalen Carter and Myles Garrett together as a 1-2 punch on this offensive line. One on the edge, one on the interior, and it's just a deadly weapon. So you have that. But then you also have the crowd that says we don't need him. And I'll tell you where I stand on this. Do we need, all capitalized, need? Do you need him? No, I wouldn't go as far as saying it is a need. But what I can't do is undersell his greatness. What I can't do is act as if you did go land him and utilize a couple of draft picks and then, how he works his magic with the cap, which he always does, that it would somehow not benefit this team by a large margin. You can still find ways to have plenty of winning without Myles Garrett. They just won the Super Bowl with Josh Sweat and Milton Williams. And as great of a player as both of them are, they're nice pieces. That's what they are. They're nice players who stepped up in big moments, but they're nice players. They're not game changers on like a Myles Garrett on a day-by-day basis. You're lying to yourself if you realize again. That's not what they are. But they sure as hell stepped up and maximized their big moment. There's no denying that. So you can find ways to win without the overpowering Myles Garrett, with just a Jalen Carter, if you do surround him with pieces that can maximize moments on a consistent basis and, can be nice players who are strong when the lights shine bright. It is very possible to do it. So, no, they don't need him. But, man, would I apply pressure to go out and make that move? Yes. My thought would be, I'm doing my homework. I'm doing my research. If I'm Howie and I'm putting you in his shoes, I'm not acting as if I don't have to pick up the phone and call Cleveland. I'm not just doing base level type of homework here on what the price would be. I'm doing real research. I'm taking time out of my day, precious time that I could apply towards other areas of this roster, on the scouting combine, on tape study, on the NFL draft, any of it, any other thing that I could be doing as a general manager. I will take my time properly to assess Myles Garrett and see if I can seriously pull the trigger on a big swing and a big trade. Because when you do that, you get Saquon Barkley. That was in a different way. Saquon Barkley was acquired differently, and that may be a reason why you have a pause here, right? I mean, it's not the same as just signing a free agent. There's assets that you have to give up. So I get it, and maybe that scares you, but I'll also say this. Howie Roseman is a dog. Howie Roseman, I mean, he just finds ways to get more and get more and get more assets and trade back and pick up a second and do this with that second and do that with that second. I mean, I'm not going to rule out Howie in here and finding a way to get this incredible player and then also, getting back draft picks somehow and reinventing your stash. At the same time, I get it. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, these men who are here and balling, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, you utilize draft picks and you have young talent and you succeeded because of that young talent that you would be giving to Cleveland. Here's the difference, though. You have a good core and a really strong core of youth. So now that you have the base set, now that you have structure with a lot of young players, this is when you have the flexibility to go out and land a veteran. And it's not just any veteran. This is a veteran that wants to win. This is a veteran that wants it bad. Didn't we just spend countless hours talking about the greatness of Saquon Barkley and how he came here for this moment and how much that does influence the entire NovaCare complex? You don't think part of his leadership was everybody rallying behind the decision of wanting to be a Philadelphia Eagle and coming here for a sole purpose of hoisting that Lombardi? As much as Jalen felt it too, as much as a lot of these guys have the same desire and burn to win a title, A.J. Brown, all of them, Darius Slay never got to do it. Like, there's a lot of guys here that have the same mindset for a common goal. But there's no doubt the storylines of leaving the New York Giants and coming to Philadelphia just to trip down 95 because the sole purpose was to win a title. Doing it for him, his energy every single day in that building, there would be a new wave of hunger in there because Myles Garrett, he made it very clear. I'm not trying to just play in the NFL. I'm not trying just to be an all-time great. I'm trying to win the whole damn thing. I want a taste of victory. I want a taste of winning. I want a taste of real playoff success. And if he gets to do that here and he gets that energy shifted every single day in that NovaCare complex after just winning a Super Bowl, here's another wave of that same intensity and that same desire in a new way. That can be a creative way to sort of bring in a new but similar message. You know what I mean? If there's 15, I'm just using 15, I don't know why, but there's 15 people working for a certain business, and that business was the top of the top in whatever respected business they were, right? They won an award. And then someone comes in to be a new member. One member leaves, another member comes in. So 14 of the 15 are here for the following year, and then someone new comes in. But that person who came in, who's new, he's one of the best in the business. He just didn't happen to work on that team last year. You don't think his hunger to want that award the following year wouldn't inspire the 14 that already won it? There would be a different sense of urgency because of the new face. And it's like, hey, let's rally around that. That is something that you can bite into because it's very difficult to catch that emotional high again and have that emotional drive after you complete it. Some guys are special. AJ claims that it's all about the journey, and that alone is going to be what helps him, kick himself into gear for next season. And then that very well could be the difference. And you may not need a Myles Garrett with the mental makeup of this crew. And I can't sugarcoat that. They do seem to be different. Jalen Hurts is still catching strays nonstop on some of these dumb sports shows out there. I mean, I saw this CBS Sports thing where they were once again, this is the second time now, it's a different analyst than the first time around. They're doing this exercise of Jalen Hurts or Trevor Lawrence, Jalen Hurts or Drake May, Jalen Hurts or CJ Stroud. And these are some of the comments they're saying on TV. Oh, that was easy. I'm obviously going Trevor Lawrence. Really? Well, God bless you. Whatever team hires you as a GM, you're getting fired in 2 years because you're an idiot. Oh, I'm easily taking Drake May. Easily taking Drake May? You know what? I love it. Keep it coming. Keep that hate coming. Keep that negativity coming. Because I know one man embraces it like no other. My quarterback. The Super Bowl most valuable player. The most valuable player that happened to perform in the Super Bowl, this most recent Super Bowl. Yeah, that guy who was MVP in the Super Bowl, the biggest game, Super Bowl 59. And annihilated Spags' defense, who I'm sure those same people think Spags is a genius and a smart DC because he is. But what happens when you have a very, 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 very special quarterback is he exposes those good defensive coordinators. And that's what the quarterback who you keep putting down on your list did in the Super Bowl 59, the MVP, the most valuable player in the Super Bowl. Yeah, keep disrespecting. Keep disrespecting. Because it only feeds the beast. That's all. All right, everybody. That's going to do it on this episode here of Bleacher Report. Thank you guys all so much for kicking it with me. You guys are great. I love you. We got one more day together this week, Thursday at 6 o'clock Eastern. So I'll catch you then. And with that, have a great rest of your day and go Birds.